For this first example of reflections, we'll be reflecting a figure over the line of reflection y equals x. You will then find the slope of the line perpendicular to the line of reflection and draw a line with that slope from each point on the figure to the line of reflection. Next, you will double the length of that line using the same slope and extend it on the other side of the line of reflection, and make a point where that extension ends. Once you've connected the dots, you have your reflected figure. Now for some shortcuts. We will reflect a figure into each of the 4 quadrants. We'll call this figure A, B, C, D. In finding the coordinates for each point on the figure, you will notice that both x and y are always positive. The rule for quadrant 1 is positive x, positive y. Now for quadrant 2. We reflected figure ABCD over the y-axis. When finding the coordinates for this reflected figure, you'll notice that only the x is negative and the y is positive. The rule for reflecting over the y-axis into quadrant 2 is making the x negative and the y positive. We'll now reflect our new figure over the x-axis into quadrant 3. The coordinates now show both x and y being negative. The rule for reflecting over the x-axis into quadrant 3 is making x and y negative. Now we'll reflect our newest figure into quadrant 4 over the y-axis. The coordinates for this figure now show x is positive and y is negative. The rule for reflecting a figure over the y-axis into quadrant 4 is making the x positive and the y negative. Finally, if you were to reflect a figure from quadrant 4 to quadrant 1, we would make both x and y positive. These rules will apply whether you're reflecting over the x or y axis into any of the 4 quadrants.